Today, we're gonna make a really yummy baked treat. We're gonna make some cinnamon rolls. Hey everyone, it's Dora from flippinghousesanpancakes.com, and half of my household right now is down with the flu. Everybody's coughing. I'm telling you, it's something. And I decided that we're gonna have soup tonight, but we're gonna have a yummy, gooey treat as well. I think it will make everybody feel a little happier about being sick. So we're gonna make some cinnamon rolls. So let's get started. We're gonna first make the dough, and you can do this in a mixer, but today I just felt like doing this by hand. Don't worry, everything's been washed and cleaned. Whew. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start with 1 2/3 cup of warm water, and I'm gonna add that to my bowl. And we're gonna make a yeast dough here. Now you can use this dough to make babkas, you can use this dough to make all kinds of treats, but we're going with cinnamon rolls today. All right, so we have that. We're gonna add some yeast. I need 2 tablespoons of yeast. Oh my God, these fun new measuring spoons. You guys look like they together. It's really fun. Okay, I had to just show you. All right, we've got 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast here. I'm gonna add that to my warm water. We're gonna start proofing the yeast. I'm not gonna really let it sit the whole time because it's good. I used this yeast last week, like 3 days ago. I know it's gonna be good, so we don't need to actually let it sit, but we'll start the process the usual way. I'm gonna put 3/4 cup of sugar. So far we had 1 2/3 cups of warm water and 2 tablespoons of dry yeast, active dry yeast, 3/4 cup of sugar. Now you guys, there's one thing I forgot to say. This is an episode of DIY kosher cooking. It has been really something with like one kid after the other catching the flu. So I apologize for not reminding you that we are doing DIY kosher cooking here, which is very exciting. So I'm gonna make the cinnamon rolls in my kitchen. You are gonna learn how to make them yourself. You don't have to go to the store and buy them. And by the way, mine will be healthier. I promise you, they'll be healthier than the ones you buy in the store. I don't use any shortening. I don't use any bad stuff in it. This is nice, simple, and the house will smell so good. All right. So if I didn't know that my yeast was good, I would let this sit and proof for a while, but you know what? My yeast is gonna be fine. So we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients right now. So we had, again, 1 2/3 cup of warm water. We had our 2 tablespoons of yeast, active dry yeast that I store in the fridge. Remember to do that once you open the bag, keep it in the fridge. And I put in the 3/4 cups of regular granulated white sugar. Okay, now we're gonna add a few more things. We have 3 eggs here. I've already shelled them and checked them. So we have our 3 eggs. We're gonna add a teaspoon of salt. Right there. Teaspoon of salt to our dough. There's only 2 more ingredients. We are going to add some oil. I'm using avocado oil, but actually I'm going to do the oil afterward, and you'll see why. Normally I would put the liquids all in, but for some reason I only grabbed 1 measuring cup, and I just don't want it to get wet before I do the flour. So we're going to add the flour in now. We'll mix everything all together afterward, or we'll add most of the flour in. So let's see. We're going to do 7 cups of flour. So just move everything out of the way. 1. I'm going to count these out loud because I will get myself completely confused. Okay. 2. I can't tell you how many times I have miscounted and just like totally forgotten where I was. 3. 4. 5. 6. Now, in all honesty, normally I use 7 cups of flour, but for some reason I only had bread flour left in the house today. So we're gonna do 6 cups and then add some more in after we add our wet ingredients, our last wet ingredients, because bread flour sometimes needs a little bit less. Bread flour really should be weighed versus measured. Not today. Today we're measuring. So it'll be fine. We're gonna add 1 cup of oil. Again, a light flavored oil. I wouldn't recommend extra virgin olive oil. However, you could use a light olive oil. I'm using avocado oil. You could use a canola oil or vegetable oil. All right. So we have all of our ingredients except for probably we need a little more flour, but I don't want to have too much flour. So I'm gonna start kneading the dough together. And yes, it looks kind of stupid. I know. I'm sitting here with 1 finger kind of mixing this in. Once it gets a little wetter, we'll have a proper dough mixing. And I love making this recipe because it's so easy and you can change the fillings. Like I said, first of all, you could take the exact same ingredients and turn it into a babka. It's just a different shape when you're rolling it out and setting it up for baking. You could also change the fillings. You could make a chocolate filling. I have a delicious strawberry cream cheese filling. It's so good, you guys. The strawberry cream cheese filling. Yeah, we are gonna need, look at that. It is way too wet. We are gonna add that last cup of flour. So the good news is I do have a half cup here. So we're gonna add that in. We'll do a half cup. Maybe we'll do the half cup and then we'll add the other half. I've done so many different types of fillings. No, you know what? We'll do the last half and I think we'll be good. So the full 7 cups, even though I'm using bread flour, the full 7 cups just went in this bowl. Okay, so we're gonna start kneading it and I'm gonna knead this by hand. You could do it with a machine, absolutely. And again, you can pick whatever fillings you like. Today I'm going with like a cinnamon pecan filling because there's something so warm about that and refreshing. This is going to be a sticky dough today. You never really know with dough, right? Sometimes you have to add a little more flour. Sometimes you have to give a good kneading on your countertop, which is what we're going to do because that's actually how I enjoy kneading my dough, is we're going to drop this on the countertop in just a minute. This is just too sticky. Look at that. Okay. Let's scoop it off my fingers. And we're going to put it on the counter. Counter's clean, so always make sure your counter's clean before you do that. Before you scoop all of your dough onto it. Make sure your counter is clean. Put that one to the side for a minute. And there's a few ways to make this knead a little better when your hands are sticky. I'm going to rinse my fingers off. And then either you want to do with very dry hands, or in today's case, I'm going to add a touch of oil to my hands, which doesn't really make sense if you think about it. You think, what, you're adding more moisture because there's oil on your fingers, but actually, it's just going to help it not stick to me. So we're going to take a touch of oil. I'm going to put it on my hand. Okay? Just like that. And we're going to start to use this, and we're going to knead it just like we would a really tasty bread. And you'll see the dough will come together. It just takes time. It's on the sticky end for sure. I might actually dust a little bit, but let's get this going. It is so sticky today. I wonder if I measured something wrong. I'm gonna add just a touch of flour as well. There we go. We just want to get it to the point where it will let me knead it into a proper dough. There we go. Well, it's not really sticking to my hands as much because I put the oil, and now you can start to see it pull together as a proper dough. And then we're going to let it sit, and we're going to let this dough rise. What you're looking for when you're kneading a dough, and I'm taking it and pulling it forward, you can see kind of wrap it around. So you're rotating and then folding. Rotate, fold, and then you'll speed up the more practice you have. Rotate and fold, okay? And we want to work that gluten and make those gluten chains really nice and long so that our cinnamon buns will poof up really nicely. So we're gonna make sure that we knead this until it's a nice smooth ball. Remember how sticky it was? still a little sticky, but mostly you can see it's starting to kind of, you can see the stretching that it's doing. So we're getting there. I'm going to continue to knead this for another minute or two. Then we're going to cover it in my bowl, put it back in the bowl. I'm going to cover it with a towel or with some plastic wrap. And after it's doubled in size, we're going to come back, roll it out, fill it, and get it ready for baking. The dough is almost doubled in size, so we're going to make the filling. Now, I've got 2 cups of chopped nuts here. My personal preference is pecans, but you could go with walnuts if you would like. And we are going to add the other ingredients. So 2 cups of nuts, chopped. I put mine in a bag and smash it with a hammer. It works really well, or with a cooking mallet, you know, a kitchen mallet. We're going to put 2 cups of brown sugar. If you don't have enough brown sugar, do 1 cup of brown and 1 cup of white, but if you want the brown sugar in there, it's going to be really good. Okay, we've got 2 cups of brown sugar here. Look at this bowl. Making really good filling. Then we are going to do 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. These are cinnamon buns, so that's what we want, is 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. We'll add 1. We add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And we only need one more thing. We need some oil. Now you can brush the oil onto the cinnamon buns, or you can add it right here. So I'm going to put 1/2 cup of oil. Sometimes I like to adjust it a little bit, but 1/2 cup should be right. We're going to go ahead and this is like a textural experience, guys, but it's good. We're going to kind of mix it up. You can add more oil, by the way, if you prefer it to be, well, if you prefer to have more oil, or you can use butter or margarine. I just tend to cook mostly with oil. So we're going to kind of mix this all up. This way it's going to kind of stick to our cinnamon bun. Like I said, you could use butter or margarine and make a paste that you're going to spread, but this is perfect for me. Okay. And we'll come back and roll out our dough. Look at how nice the dough looks. Doesn't it look gorgeous? Okay, we're going to pull this out. It is soft dough. Don't worry about that. I'm just going to plop it out onto my counter. Nice clean counter. And I'm going to cut this. Now you can cut it in half and do 12. I'm actually making 6 cinnamon rolls in each pan. So I'm going to cut mine into 4 pieces. So approximately 4 pieces. I'm going to roll them out 1 at a time. I don't know why I'm doing that. Well, I could cut it into 12 and then cut it into 6. You know what? It's been one of those days. We're going to do these 6 at a time. You can definitely roll them out 12 at a time. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. It has been one of those weeks with everybody being sick. So we're going to try and roll these into a rectangle. And again, you can do these all 12 at a time. This recipe makes approximately 24 cinnamon rolls. Just so you know, now that I'm spouting nonsense. All right, so we're going to roll this out. There we go. That looks like 6 cinnamon rolls worth. I'm actually probably going to make 2 sets of 6 cinnamon rolls and 2 babkas. So we'll see. We'll see what I get to. Let's do it. We're going to take 1/4 of our filling. Okay, and we are going to cover this rectangle up with this delicious cinnamon and nut brown sugar mixture. Look at this. It's going to be so good. Let's put just a little bit more over here. Whoa, you guys, this has been really a doozy of a week, but that's okay. These cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls, they're going to make up for it. You can call them cinnamon buns or cinnamon rolls, by the way. Same thing. Okay, we're just going to take this and we're going to start rolling it. And you want to keep kind of tucking it under because you want your roll to be pretty tight. So we're going to keep rolling it and keep rolling it. If anything tries to escape, put it back. And keep rolling it. I did not do a good rectangle or else it wouldn't try to escape. There we go. Keep rolling, keep rolling. It's getting stuck to the counter a little, so I'm going to actually just slide it under for a bit, and I'm going to pull this up and pinch it together. So we're trapping all that delicious filling in there. Again, you can use a different filling if you don't want this, but we're having cinnamon flavor. All right, so I've got my pan here. I'm going to cut this into 6 pieces. So I cut it in half, and then each one of those I'll cut into thirds. These are going to be so good. Okay, I'm really excited to eat one of these. I'm just going to put them, I'm going to pick it up and turn it, put it just like that. Okay, and it's okay if a little bit of it spills out, we're going to add that in on top. These are going to grow. I'm going to kind of shift it a little bit like this. Okay, you usually make them in a round pan, but today we are going with this beautiful pan that I have. I have some extra filling that fell out. Just sprinkle it on top, guys. It's not hard. Okay, this is gonna get covered, and that's right, we're gonna rise it again. I'm gonna roll these out. I'm gonna make probably another one of these for cinnamon rolls, and then maybe I'll make babka. Do you wanna see me make babka? Let's do it. Since we're already doing this, why don't we go ahead and turn one of these into a babka. Babka is even easier than cinnamon rolls, guys. It's so much easier. And you could make a crumb to put on top, but I'm not going to because we're going to make this simple. A simple babka. Ready? We rolled it out kind of like our cinnamon rolls. Nice rectangle here. And we're going to take another quarter of our filling and put it right on. I'm going to spread it out. Everything is exactly the same way that we did the cinnamon rolls. We're going to spread this out. Here we go. And we're going to roll it up. Roll it up. Roll it up, guys. All right. I'm going to use this again because it likes to get stuck just at that one spot. I don't know why. All right. Okay, and we're going to roll it and pinch it just like we did with the cinnamon rolls. Just like we did with the cinnamon rolls. Are you ready? This, again, not hard. So this time I'm going to kind of stretch it out a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to start turning it. We're going to spin it. See how we're twisting this up? Twist it. Twist it. And we're going to turn it like that. Okay, twist it over on itself. Did you see that? Twist it over on itself. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in my pan. And then, for prettiness sake, we are going to slice through the very tippy top. You'll get that nice look on the top there. You'll see the split with the cinnamon, and you can open it ahead of time and do that, and I feel like everything falls out, and you can do it right now and nothing falls out. All right, guys, this is going to be delicious. Babka. We're gonna rise this also along with our cinnamon rolls, and when they're fully risen, like doubled again, we're gonna brush them with egg and pop them in the oven. So we'll come back when they're ready to get into the oven. These guys are completely risen. They are ready to go in the oven. So I turn the oven on. It is heating up right now to 350 degrees, and I beat 1 egg, and I am brushing the tops of my cinnamon buns with that egg, and my babkas as well. And you don't have to brush the cinnamon part really, but you want to brush the rest of it. Okay, we're just going to coat these lightly with a little bit of beaten egg. They're going to go into the oven, and we're going to let them bake until they're golden brown. Now, you'll notice I put some of them in disposable pans. This one is for tonight. We're going to enjoy those tonight, but these ones are going to get frozen. So I don't want to have one of my my regular pans there. I'm going to freeze them in their pans for some stability. And so therefore they're in the disposable type that I don't have to worry about not having access to while they sit in the freezer. And guys, cinnamon buns freeze beautifully, if you didn't know, and so do babkas. So these are things you can absolutely keep in your freezer and pull out when you want them. Let them thaw on the counter, and then maybe pop them in the microwave, or, well, not the aluminum pan, but pop the cinnamon bun in the microwave, or throw the whole thing into the oven just for a little bit to warm up, and they will be absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead, put these into the oven, let them bake. When they're ready, I'll bring them out and show them to you. I'm gonna let them bake until they're golden brown, and then I'm gonna cool them completely on the side before we add a glaze. So we'll come back in probably a good hour. They're gonna bake probably for a good half an hour. So we'll cool them after they bake, 350 degrees. We'll cool them, and then we'll come here and glaze these beautiful cinnamon rolls and babkas. Okay, the cinnamon rolls and the babka are nice and cooled down, and so now we are going to make the icing that goes on top. You could also make a cream cheese icing if you want, but today we're going parve, non-dairy, so this is gonna be super simple. All right, we're gonna use 1 1/4 cups of confectioners or powdered sugar. I have a half cup here, so that's 1 1/4 cup, just like that. We're gonna use half a tablespoon of vanilla, and I forgot, I need 2.5 tablespoons of water. So I'm gonna get that from my sink here. 1, 2.5. All right, so we're gonna mix that up. And while I'm mixing this up into the right consistency, you guys, I can't even begin to tell you why it's dark outside right now and the amount of things that happened since I took these out of the oven. So you'll just have to go with me on this. Look at this icing. It's gonna be amazing. Do I look like I've been through a windstorm? Because I feel like I have. All right, here we go. We have some quick glaze or icing, whatever you would like to call it. And we're gonna drizzle it over the tops of our cinnamon rolls. Oh, okay, these are gonna be so good. And again, you can ice them before you freeze them. There's no problem with that. It will still be delicious when you thaw them. Or you can make this when you take them out of the freezer. That also works. We'll make sure we get some on our babkas. Okay, and these are going to taste absolutely delicious. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed learning how to make cinnamon rolls and babka, then please don't forget to like my channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you find out every time I upload a new video. Now you know how to make them yourself, so don't forget to check in for every DIY kosher cooking episode. Enjoy.